Hi, my name is Kenny Turk, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer and co-owner of Crow River Family Services. I'm one of the founding members. And today we are celebrating a huge success. For the last 8 months, we've been working with a great number of young people in an experiential gardening farming project to teach them life and social skills in the context of a hands-on or experiential learning setting. We've done this by growing food together. Not only has it produced tangible results from the time when the first plants were popping up out of the greenhouse or popping up when we planted things in the garden. Those are our first tangible results. And as we continued throughout the season, we gained a lot more tangible results in terms of fruits and vegetables, but also in terms of increased social competencies from these young people. The age range that we're working with this year is probably about 7 or 8 to 16. And there are 3 or 4 of us working with these youth in this group called Dirt Group. And again, Dirt Group is a metaphor for experiential learning, but it fits really well with the hands-on gardening, farming stuff that we do in the summertime, spring and summertime. And so today, what today's all about is a celebration of all of the hard work that these young people have done. They've invited their families, they've invited their social workers, they've invited people that are close to them to come and share a meal with us today. And what we're doing is we also raised 51 turkeys this year. And those turkeys have been, or will be donated, or are being donated by these kids, not only to themselves, they each get to take a turkey home with them, as well as squash and pumpkins and all sorts of stuff they've been able to take home this year. But basically going to be able to feed their families Thanksgiving dinner through the hard work that they did. Not only that, they also donated 10 turkeys to a community outreach program with a church community in Wilmer, Minnesota. In addition to that, they've donated to other folks in need. We've made donations of almost 1,000 pounds or over 1,000 pounds to area food shelves this year. And we've also donated to assisted living programs like Lincoln Apartments in Litchfield. So these young people have expanded their skills incredibly. They all have their own individual treatment plan, and so each of those target area skills that they're working on in any given week is what we focus on for them during the time that they're in group each week. But because there's other kids in group, those kids have other target area skills, and so there's a lot of vicarious learning that takes place too when they're able to hear about what the other kids are working on and then learn from that experience as well. And so basically Dirt Group does 5 things. It produces tangible results, not only increased social skills competency, but also in terms of being able to actually have fruits and vegetables, learning about eating new foods and in the environment and all those kinds of things, but also then making a difference, the big ripple effect. Making a difference in terms of making donations to the food shelves, to Lincoln Apartments, etc., and to be able to see and understand people's needs outside of themselves. The third thing is that this is important. This is their garden. This is what they took great pride and ownership in this project, and you probably heard some of that in the interviews that they did today with Mike, and how excited they are about what they were able to accomplish. The fourth thing is that sense of belonging or sense of inclusion. Most of our kids don't have a lot of friends, if any friends. They don't fit in normal social contexts or schools situations. They don't participate in extracurriculars typically because there's barriers. A lot of times it's fear of fitting in or not feeling like I'm going to belong, or sometimes it's financial barriers or social barriers that for some reasons that they just aren't able to participate in those normal extracurriculars that are sponsored by school or community organizations. Because of that, these kids have a sense of belonging because they're part of groups, something bigger than themselves. And Erik Erikson, one of the founding fathers of psychology, indicated in his book, Identity, Youth, and Crisis in 1970, that social identity formation happens in adolescence, but it doesn't happen outside of a youth social context. Well, if your social context is it's me, myself, and I, you're not going to have the opportunities to develop those social competencies to increase your capacity to be able to get along with other people and navigate difficult problems or all those kinds of things, which is all part of what Dirt Group is about. Learning to problem solve, learning to persevere on difficult tasks and projects, whether that be the gardening and the weeding or doing dishes at home or doing your homework. These skills apply to every area of their life. And the fifth, and that brings me to the fifth part about Dirt Group, is that it prepares these kids for life. There are so many opportunities that we have that are structured and scripted in how we practice our skills and how we learn these skills, but also in the experiential context, what gives us an opportunity to put them in real life situations where they actually have to use the skills that we've been teaching them. And through repetition, week after week after week, we continue to build on 1 skill, 2 skills, 3 skills, 4 skills, until we're identifying all of those skills that are in their treatment plan to be able to address them effectively in the context of Dirt Group. So that is what Dirt Group is kind of all about. And today, like I said, today is a harvest celebration banquet. We do this every year, and this year, like I said, we raise turkeys, and so we're having 7 turkeys today. We're going to have over 100 people here, in addition to the kids, and so it's going to be a big deal. And we're very excited and super proud of our kids. And we have T-shirts this year, which is pretty sweet too. And I'm sure you saw that when you heard the other interviews, that you could see these kids are all very prideful in wearing their T-shirts, and they take a lot of ownership and a lot of pride in being part of Dirt Group. And they're able to explain what it is that they've learned, and they're able to demonstrate that transfer to other areas of their lives. Some kids take longer. Some kids are not at the same developmental stage or phase as other kids their own age are. And so one of these things is to help us bring these kids back up to their normal developmental trajectory that wouldn't have been impacted had they not been experiencing a mental health disorder. And so we've got several of our providers here today from Kroger Family Services. We have my wife, who's the executive director of Huganaga Family Farms here. I'm the program director for Huganaga Family Farms, and have created Dirt Group curriculum with my wife. Several years ago I formed it, and then I did about 4 years of research while I was in graduate school to really determine what the efficacy of this type of programming would be. And it was very clear from the research that this type of programming impacts and influences these young people's social skill development in incredible ways. But more than that, it gives them a sense of belonging, gives them a place to belong and to be part of something bigger than themselves and to make a difference in the community. And by identifying and making a difference in the community, they're no longer looked at or look at themselves as I'm a troubled delinquent kid. I'm making a difference now, I'm somebody. These people are thankful for the work I'm doing, and they're grateful, and they really begin to see kind of their place in the world. And one other thing I didn't mention is that we also participate in farmers markets to give the kids an opportunity, again, for us to observe them in the public and the community, practicing these skills that we're teaching them that are part of their treatment plans. But in addition to that, they also get an opportunity to kind of learn some entrepreneurial skills as well, even though that's not part of our programming. It just kind of happens vicariously. And so when we start out, we have the baby chickens or the baby turkeys or geese. They learn about handling them with care. The same thing with the plants that we transplant from the greenhouse into the gardens. They learn about handling with care, and that also transfers to their relationships about handling people in their lives with care. We work with a lot of youth that have experienced a lot of early childhood trauma, whether that be a form of abuse or neglect, and many of these kids have very difficult times attaching and having successful, normal, healthy relationships with other people. But when we can put them in with the baby chickens or the baby ducks, etc. We've had puppies before too. It gives them an opportunity. It's a safe kind of relationship. There's not a worry about how that might be, that critter might reject them at some point in time. And so it becomes a safe learning experience for them. But again, that learning is transferable to other areas of their life as well. So again, my name is Kenny Turk. I'm the Chief Executive Officer and co-owner, founding member of Kroger Family Services, and the Program Director of Huganaga Family Farms. Kroger Family Services and Huganaga Family Farms have partnered together to be able to provide Dirt Group